Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
That ball is hit deep to right field, and when it comes down, the Padres have the lead. Punch 'em all, Will Venable. Will Venable, a single, a triple, and a home run last night to spark the biggest comeback of the season for the Padres. 6-0 down after the first inning, and they rallied to win it 8-6, and Venable's bat a big part of it all. He's ready to go to work. Middle game of a 3-game series as we welcome you to Petco Park in downtown San Diego. Beautiful Saturday night. The Cubs and the Padres game 2. And good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Grant and Mr. Padre Tony Gwynn, Dick Enberg, we're pleased that you're with us. The Padres before the game today making a roster move. Last night, Edinson Volquez struggling once more. And today, the announcement that he's been designated for assignment, that sounds innocent enough. Basically, he has been put on waivers and will be available to other teams. Brad Brock, right-hander, will join the Padres in the bullpen at Tucson. He had a ERA just a little over 3 and has pitched off and on with the big club during the course of this year. Well, let's go. Along with Will Venable last night, Tony Gwynn, how about Jed Jerko?
Well, he was outstanding last night, and he went 3 for 4. This home run is what I call a situational home run. He was sitting on a pitch. He got it. He put a really good swing on it, get it out of the ballpark, kind of got the ball rolling for the Padres. This home run is the one I'm really excited about because it was more of a reaction home run. He got a fastball away, elevated a little bit, didn't overswing, went right with it to right center field. And when you can do that, that tells me that you got the ability to hit the baseball. And so he's kind of getting back to where he was before he was hurt. But right now, he's really swinging the bat really well. And that's, I think, a good sign for the Padres.
Well, the rookie from West Virginia, Jerko, has hit 8 home runs in the last 18 games. Now, Eric Stoltz, he has not been able to pick up a win in his last 6 starts, Mark Grant, but...
Yep, home is not only where the heart is, but home is where the great numbers are, Dick. 12 starts at home this season, 5-2, an ERA at 2.5. You know what? He's going to give up some hits. Right now, as we speak, more hits than innings pitched. But he doesn't allow a lot of walks. 35 free passes in 163 innings. So he's got to get early outs. He's got to throw that changeup when he's ahead in the count. And these hitters have shown in the past, if he gets ahead with strike one, they'll fish after that curveball and after that changeup. So that's a big key for Eric Stoltz tonight to get a win. And the comeback would not have materialized but for the fact that the bullpen shut out the Cubs 8 1/3 innings. And key to that point, Tim Stauffer, 4 1/3 shutout innings, 1 hit. Laura McCammon, more on Stauffer when we come back.
in downtown San Diego. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura McKeeman. Well, after the Cubs put up 6 runs in the first inning against Edinson Volquez last night, the Padres called upon Tim Stauffer to come in and limit the damage. And he did just that, putting up 4 1/3 scoreless innings and allowing the Padres to claw back in what would be their biggest comeback of the season. Catcher Nick Hundley calls Tim's work the most crucial part of an exciting game. And here's Tim himself in our Geico quote of the game.
Really just a good mix. Both sides of the plate, changing speeds. I thought my slider was pretty good today, keeping the lefties, honest in and just moving it in and out. And Nick called a great game, and we were on the same page all night.
You were able to keep the team in it for the stretch that you were in the game, and then the rest of the bullpen comes in and continues to pick up Volquez. What can you say about their work? I
mean, they've been good all year, and they just continue to do that tonight. Guys just pounding the zone and being aggressive and letting the defense, get some work in and then get back out there to hit, and those guys hit the ball well today.
Of course, Tim Stauffer and the rest of the pitchers among the Padres that came into the game last night credited the offense for the comeback, putting up 8 runs after being down 6. When we come back, we've got Padres baseball on the way. First pitch is just around the corner, and Eric Stoltz is on the mound. Can he stay tough at home? You'll find out when this game gets going. Dick Inberg, Mr. Padre Tony Gwynn, and Mark Grant with the call.
That ball is hit deep to right field. Jerko will touch them all. Touch them all. Will Venable. How about that? Quite a game last night. Great baseball theater. 6-0 down. Looked rather hopeless, but the Padres kept pecking away. Home run balls from Venable and 2 from Jerko, and finally an 8-6 comeback win, the biggest of the year. Ready to go, game 2, and here's the Cubs lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Starlin Castro, Anthony Rizzo, former Padre. Catcher Dioner Navarro hits third. Donnie Murphy, he's been on a tear in the month of August, as has Jed Jerko. Junior Lake, a good-looking young center fielder. Darnell McDonald and Cole Gillespie, a couple of players picked up during the course of the season, getting a rare start for Dale Swain. Darwin Barney, the second baseman, will hit 8th, and Jeff Samardzija, good hitting pitcher, will bat 9th. Eric Stoltz, his home record outstanding, 5-2 with a 2.50 ERA, and when he starts at home, the Padres are 9-3.
And Dick, this is the 6th career start against the Cubs. He's 1-3 with a 4.56 ERA. But he's pitched well at home, as you mentioned. Hope he can turn around those numbers. He's got to stay out of the heart of the plate. Boy, the changeup and breaking ball is so crucial for Eric Stoltz.
And we're underway. First pitch strike to Starlin Castro. Checks in at 237. Young shortstop well under his average of the last 2 seasons. But he slams one right up the middle for a base hit to open things here tonight.
I don't know if you guys used this on the baseball lingo night, but that one was right up the box. Right?
Almost through the wickets.
Or a hockey suit. You need a hockey suit to deflect that one or keep it in front of you. And my goodness, he needs to tidy up that helmet. Everybody has their own little quirks,
He
though,
did
right,
that
Tony?
before he went up to the plate. He was popping it with the rosin bag.
Rosin bag, yeah.
Anthony Rizzo, a big swing and a miss. Long ball hitting young first baseman. Part of the trade that brought him here, Adrian Gonzalez, and then traded to Chicago for Andrew Kashner. .20 home runs, and he pops this one high in the air, middle of the diamond. That's a tough play for Hundley. He's called off by Headley for the first down. That gives us a chance to check the rest of the Padres defense, brought to you by the Aramco Group. Headley, Forsythe, Jerko, and Alonso on the infield. Patrolling the outfield, Jeff Decker in left, Amarista in center, Venable in right. Nick Hundley behind the plate for Eric Stoltz. Jeff Decker, young man from Peoria, Arizona, top pick of the Padres, 23-year-old, gets a start tonight in left. Deoner Navarro, the catcher, switch hitter. And very tough from the right side, hitting .391 against left-handed pitching. High fly ball hit well to left. Decker getting a chance. Sets up for the throw to second. Castro tags but does not advance. 2 away.
Did you hear the yelling on the field?
I did, yeah.
I mean, the field mic's picking him up.
Yep. You hear the whole infield yelling, tag, tag. We talked about this earlier in the year. When you're going to make a throw, you got to get behind the baseball. And so he gets behind it, get some momentum coming forward. I'd like to see that other hand get up there, but bottom line, you catch the ball, you catch it with some momentum coming to where you're going to throw the ball.
Pretty fundamentally sound right there.
Yeah, and it was great to hear the infielders yell tag.
Donnie Murphy, the cleanup hitter, third baseman. As Stoltz makes a visit to first base. Castro with 8 steals. That's the tops for the Cubs this year. They have not much of a running team. Murphy, since the break, has the second best slugging percentage in the National League.
Every umpire is different. Eric Stoltz needs to work the outside corner, but to get a little half baseball maybe off the plate helps his cause just as much behind the plate. Eric Cooper tonight didn't give him that pitch off the plate there, that last pitch, just a little bit off outside.
Same spot, closer to the corner, but still doesn't get the call.
So pretty consistent there.
And you got to, that Nick Hundley's got to work. Got to work with Stoltz here. Hey, he's not giving you whatever off the plate. Hey, move back over a little bit and let the movement of the baseball work.
Good pitch here for a changeup. Good count, rather.
He lays it in there. It was indeed a changeup.
I love watching Eric Stoltz just flip it up there. Same arm action, same delivery every time. Very, repetitive in the delivery. And pitching backwards, right? Meaning fastball count. He threw the off-speed pitch for a strike.
Another thing on the Fox track, I mean, all 3 of those balls are like right in the same area, and that's what you like.
Castro with his lead, 2-1. And now 3-1, the breaking ball inside. Murphy in just 17 games, the last 17 games, hitting 8 home runs. He was hit twice last night, went 0 for 3. Swing and a miss. Another pitch in that same spot.
When you consistently get in that, you're going to get some calls.
Yep.
As you're showing the umpire that you can consistently put that ball in there, as long as you're in that neighborhood, and especially here, these kind of situations with 2 strikes.
Strike 3 call. Eric Stoltz, some nice pitching in the opening frame, and the Padres come up in the last of the first inning, and Will Venable, single, double, a triple, and a home run last night. He'll lead it off. To you by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, inviting you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. This Saturday is Camp Night at Petco Park, and Farmers Insurance providing the fans with some outstanding San Diego Padre baseball caps as we look at our Padre lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Venable, Amarista, Alonso, the first 3. Chad Jerko in the cleanup spot once again. Seems to be comfortable there. Chase Headley batting 5th, then Logan Forsythe, Nick Hundley, Jeff Decker bats 8th, and Eric Stoltz.
And right-hander Jeff Samardzija, here's the scouting report, get the 2-seamer up. He likes to throw his fastball. In fact, when he gets in trouble, he'll try to throw it through a brick wall. And 2 strikes. Look for that split. That's his secondary pitch.
Line drive softly over third into left field for a hit. So Venable picks up tonight where he left off last evening with a single, triple, and home run.
Right off the end of the bat.
Looked like a 2-seam action.
2-seam running away, and again, I like the fact that didn't try to pull.
And Tony, my question to you tonight with Samardzija and that split finger being his good secondary pitch, will we see possibly the Padre hitters attacking early if they get a fastball early in the count?
Yes, you will. And the only way that I think won't happen is if he elevates the fastball a lot. What I mean by that, above the belt.
Right.
Alexi Amarista starts tonight at 260. Samardzija with Venable at first base. With Cabrera gone for the year, Venable has the leading steal count with 14. Samardzija's got a good move over there. He's quick feet. There he goes.
Huge jump.
Wow. Not even a throw. Not even a thought of a throw by Navarro. Number 15 for Venable.
That's what we used to call the okie doke right there. He took off before Samardzija even lifted his leg, and I mean, Navarro had no chance.
He was more than halfway to second before the ball arrived.
Huge jump.
Navarro was worried about framing that pitch, hoping to give Samardzija the call on that, as Venable slid into second base.
No chance to pick up an early run. The Padres fare much better when they score first. Last night was an exception. And Amarista's been tough with runners in scoring position. The Cubs, when they played in San Diego, Qualcomm and then Petco, 224 times they played in San Diego. Soft fly ball back a short. Long run by a trio of Cubs, and it's the left fielder McDonald carving his way between Lake and Castro to make the catch. Here's the Cubs defense tonight, brought to you by Hyundai. McDonald, Lake, and Gillespie in the outfield. Murphy and Rizzo at the corners. Castro and Barney up the middle. Navarro behind the plate for Samardzija. So 124 times the Cubs have visited San Diego, and the record 112 wins, 112 losses.
That's a 500 record.
You're so quick. Saturday night, too. Weekends. Number, you're not that fast.
Yeah. And there's a reason why I'm not so fast.
Yonder Alonso. Amarista unable to move Venable to third. Alonso the top average for the Padres at 289, and a good job with runners in scoring position. Fastball 93. Broad shoulders Samardzija. He was an outstanding wide receiver at the University of Notre Dame. Finished with the Irish 179 catches, 27 touchdowns. That was the Notre Dame record when he left campus. Up the middle, it hits the foot of Samardzija, and that slowed it for Castro in a 1-6-3 putout. Might have saved a run. The ball was aimed up the middle, but Castro was shaded towards second.
Also hit this ball right on the button. See Castro already up the center of the diamond. Probably was going to be an out, but anytime you hit a ball up the middle, you just expect it to go through.
Yeah, and that ball looked like it was going to hit the hill, hit the mound, bounce up in the air, slow it down a little bit because Castro was nearly behind second base there.
So 2 outs. Venable moves to third on the putout, and it's up to Jed Jerko. Jerko lines it to left, but too hard. It's right at the left fielder McDonald, and that's it for the Padres. We go to the second at Petco. No score.
As we told you earlier, the Padres have designated for assignment Edinson Volquez. Bud Black talking about the move and said it was time to move on. Volquez understands. Here's the manager with more.
That was the frustrating part for Darren and I, that, at times we thought we had him on a roll. There were times we thought, we had him where he needed to be. And then, just the unevenness of his performance because the talent's there was frustrating, for us as teachers, from the teaching side, as coaches. So, but again, I think everybody did everything we could. It just didn't happen consistently.
Guys, Bud said they made sure to thank Volquez for his constant effort and everything he put into the game.
Well, and I think we all concur that he was so enigmatic because he had that great stuff and would pitch lights out, and then he would struggle like he did last night. He was always with a smile on his face after the games and on the trips. I mean, he's as likable as you'll find.
Always good for a quote, like you said, Dick. Always jovial in the clubhouse, yucking it up. Good teammate. What I gather from the teammates down there in the clubhouse. Yeah, he's going to be missed, but you know what? We've said this all along. It's not a try league, right? It's a do league.
Yes, about production. And I suspect that he's not going to be out there long. Somebody's going to give him a shot because he's got a great arm. And in this business, there are always people who think they can fix you, if they can get you going right.
I think that was the frustration that Darren Balsley was as good as anyone. Thought he could take that talent and mold it into the pitcher that Volquez was when he won 17 and lost only 6 with Cincinnati earlier in his career.
That's the thing. Buddy touched on it. They're both teachers. And you teach guys, the things that you think are going to help them become successful. So, yeah, it's tough to see him go, and it's frustrating, but.
Fly ball to right field. Venable has to give ground. Junior Lake lined out. McDonald flies out, and we go to a Fox Sports 1 game break. And Johnny Gomes, he put that home run punishment on the Padres at Fenway earlier this year. So the Dodgers, it's almost headline news. They lost. He came into the game today. The games today, 76-52. They lead Arizona by 10.5 at the start. 10.5 games. A team that was behind the Padres in last place, 9.5 out, seemingly only a month and a half ago. The 10.5 game lead is the biggest lead the Dodgers have enjoyed since September 1977.
Hey.
36 years ago. 2 outs here in the top of the second on fly ball outs, although Lake's ball was much like Jerko's, a line drive to left. Cole Gillespie, he was placed on waivers earlier this year by the Giants and picked up by the Cubs. That just misses inside. 2-2. He's 29. He was a teammate of the man who's on deck, Darwin Barney, at Oregon State when they won the national championship 7 years ago. 3-2. Somewhat rare to have men in the lineup, 8th, 7th, and 8th. Gillespie and Barney, collegiate teammates with the Beavers at Corvallis.
This time of year, the Cubs trying to get an idea, who could play at this level.
A couple of eager Beavers right there.
Yeah, Darryl Swain trying to find out, who's going to go into battle with next year.
Fly ball to right. Again, it's Venable. A little bit of sun out there to concern yourself, but he follows it into the glove. 1-2-3 on fly ball outs. Here come the Padres. Headley leads off. Headley, Forsyth, and Hundley in the second inning. And between innings, Bud Black, we talk about teaching with Amarista. You know what that's about.
Yeah, it's, man on second, nobody out. And I'm sure Buddy's telling him sometimes it's okay if you drag a bunt or you put a bunt down and get that runner over to third. You don't always.
Ooh. Headley. You could hear that one hit that shin guard protector that he has. And he's aboard, hit by a pitch.
So you don't always have to try to pull a ball. But Samardzija, slider right off that shin guard protector.
And indeed, had Amarista put the ball on the ground and moved Venable to third, the ball hit by Alonso would have scored a run.
Jack McKeon, when I first came up, he used to be in my ear all the time about it's okay to bunt. It's okay to bunt. Because that's especially in today's game, it's kind of a lost art, guys.
Sure.
And our Sequandication stat of the game. Leading strikeout pitcher in the National League is Clayton Kershaw. Then Harvey Wainwright and Samardzija, number 4 at 168 punchouts.
You're talking about bunting, right? Tony getting the runner over, whatever, first, second. Remember the Pirates, Jay Bell?
Yeah.
Remember Jeff King, Bobby Bonilla? It was an automatic run.
Yeah.
They would get on, steal the base. Jay Bell would bunt him over. Yeah. He had like 60, 70 some sacrifices that year.
He sure
True
did.
story.
Yeah, that's true.
And next thing you know, the Pirates would be up 1-0 in the first.
Well, this could be 2. Barney to Castro and Castro to Rizzo digs it out of the dirt. A double play for the Cubs.
Taylor made. Nice pick at first base by Rizzo.
Well, look at the footwork of Castro on the run. Barney leading him. And, Anthony Rizzo, he's always been smooth with that glove over at first base.
Barney got the ball in plenty of time to Castro where he could kick the bag and kick out. Where to slide, he couldn't get taken out.
Nick Hundley. 10 home runs this year for Nick. Takes a strike. It's only the third time that Forsyth has wrapped into a double play this year.
Looks like that slider from Samardzija is a pitch he'll show early in the count. That fastball we talked about, the split. He also throws a cutter and a slider. You get that fastball to about 96, 97 now.
He's a big guy,
yes,
too.
He is.
6'5", 225. So it's quite a contrast in the pitchers tonight. Samardzija with the hard stuff, fastball, cutters. And then Eric Stoltz, he'll throw a lot of softies.
Yep.
Sometimes I wish I grew up as a junk ball and left-hander. Much fun would that be? Just embarrassing hitters. Sawing guys off with like 84-mile-an-hour fastballs.
94 on that fastball strike, 2-2.
You remember a local product by the name of Lance Dixon, a left-hander, University of Arizona, Grossmont High School. He was a little soft tosser trying to fool people all the time. Breaking bats.
Thumb it up there. Huh?
Yeah, former Cub.
Ground ball to short. Castro a convenient hop. And the Padres are gone in the second. We move to the third. No score.
Johns Hopkins Medicine, one of this year's Fox Sports Supports charities. Johns Hopkins is at the forefront of groundbreaking research into autoimmune disorders like multiple sclerosis and lupus. Join us in the fight against autoimmune diseases. Donate now by visiting hopkinsmedicine.org/Fox.
So many wonderful causes that we can, when available, to support. That certainly is one of them. 15 straight games the Cubs have faced right-handed starters, so this is a bit unusual to see a guy throwing from that southpaw wing. Darwin Barney, the other Oregon State star in his collegiate years. Second baseman starts it here in the third. 75 on that pitch. Barney, then Samardzija. As we said, a good hitting pitcher, has a home run this year. Then Castro. Fly ball shallow and right. Venable playing perfectly for the out. Every ball hit by the Cubs has been a fly ball out so far. Let's go down to Laura. Injury update.
Well, thank you, Dick. And yes, we have an update on Cameron Maybin, who we've seen in San Diego, but he is going to get that second opinion on his knee. He's actually going to go to Cincinnati and see Dr. Krimchek. So that will happen on Tuesday. He'll fly out on Monday. Also, Kyle Blanks, originally supposed to play in a minor league game today, is actually en route to AAA Tucson and came in for a checkup with the Padres medical staff this morning. All signs pointed to full speed ahead, so he went out on his rehab assignment. He'll play tomorrow as the designated hitter and then ramp up the schedule as he goes along. Dick.
How about Carlos Quentin? He was supposed to run today. Did you get any word on him?
Yes, he was supposed to run, and then they actually decided to dial that back because he's been on the treadmill and he's feeling so much better doing that work that they don't want to take a chance on hindering his improvement. So actually signs are more positive for Quentin than we thought, and Bud Black said, as opposed to a couple days ago where they didn't feel real good about where he was, now they feel pretty good going forward, and they're going to see if he can run in Arizona or LA. So that is the update on Quentin.
Good news. Samardzija lines a single to left center, and that's rolling through the gap. Samardzija will be able to head to second base for a stand-up double. We told you he can swing the bat. Well, that's good news, Laura. Thank you for that report. Now one out double Samardzija.
Well, it's elevated a little bit. He hit it so hard. Jeff Decker had to run and make a sliding stop to cut that ball off from going to the wall.
Oh, that's a big frame getting extended right there. And I don't think he really thought that ball was going to scoot through. He realized that the outfielders were trying to get to that baseball. Then he turned it on for the double. Quite an athlete, Jeff Samardzija.
So the Cubs with a chance here in the third. Starlin Castro singled up the middle to open the ball game. The double by Samardzija significant. It's the 400th extra base hit by the Cubs this year. They lead the National League in extra base hits. A lot of good hitting teams. Cubs add up the doubles, triples, and home runs there with 400, number one. Ground ball to short. Forsythe looks the runner back. 2 away. That'll bring up Anthony Rizzo.
That swing had a nice ring to it. Broken bat.
You know how you can tell Samardzija's an athlete, because most pitchers would have tried to go to third on that ball. And he recognized Forsythe was right there and went back. That ball gets in on Castro's hands.
Rizzo popped middle of the diamond. Headley came down halfway between home and the mound to make the catch. That's the first ground ball out thrown by Stultz today. Against lefties, more trouble for Rizzo, but he doesn't see as many as right-handed pitching. Still has 7 home runs against lefties. 2-0.
Yeah, like we've seen with some of the young Padre left-handed hitters. You know, the more you see them, the better you're going to be. And Rizzo's one of those guys right now that struggling a little bit against left-handed pitching, but in time he's going to be able to handle it.
That's a strike. Well, when the Cubs talk about the power of this young man displayed with 20 home runs, a name that immediately erupts as a young left-handed hitter, Billy Williams. Now that's comparing him to some outstanding talent. Williams hit 25 in 1961 when he was only 23. Next to Williams, this man is the second youngest to hit as a left-handed hitter to hit 20 for the Cubs.
Sweet swinging Billy Williams. Oh, what a great swing he had. Good old number 26, Hall of Famer.
Three balls and a strike now to Rizzo. They're the youngest players throughout the majors with 20 home runs so far, with Trout at 21, Rizzo and Rosario, the catcher of the Rockies. Goldschmidt with 31. We're going to see Paul Goldschmidt and the Arizona Diamondbacks starting Monday night. The Padres go over to Phoenix, play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. Then an off day Thursday for travel back to Los Angeles. And then they're going to go up and put a thumping on those Dodgers with 3 games.
Oh, yes, they are. You know, we talked about Paul Goldschmidt in that list, Dick and Tony. You know, Miguel Cabrera is Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
Right? But you take those numbers for Goldschmidt, you shut down the season right now, and guys will say, hey, I'll take that year with those numbers he's putting up. He's still got a month and a half left, roughly.
It's over 100 RBIs. And Rizzo, who walks more than any Cub, has his 62nd free ticket. So 2 on, 2 out to Dioner Navarro. First walk by Stoltz. He doesn't walk many. Navarro just missed one his first time up. He skied it to left, but he got lots of bat on the ball.
That's only the 36th walk this year for Eric Stoltz. And you look at the innings pitched, 163 prior to this start here.
That comes out at 1.9 walks per 9 innings. That's 8th best in the league. And let's see if he's able to get Navarro, who's hitting a healthy 391 against left-handed pitching. In there. Slider in under the hands.
Strike one always helps. Throw that first pitch for a strike, whatever it is.
Forsythe swung deep into the hole at shortstop, shading toward third base. Right field, and Venables there. A double by Samardzija, no damage done. It stays 0-0. August 24th in 1940, 73 years ago, San Diego's Ted Williams. It was a blowout game. The Tigers winning 12-1. Entered the game as a pitcher, the only game that he pitched in the big leagues. He was an outstanding high school pitcher at Hoover High here in San Diego. Worked 2 innings, struck out Rudy York, gave up a run. And it's significant for me because Ted Williams, you all know that I idolized Ted Williams. I was the announcer for the California Angels in 1969 when Williams was the new manager of the Washington Senators then. And he had gone through the league, and of course he wasn't exactly enamored of the Knights of the Keyboard we in the media. But I had to do the pregame interview with Ted Williams, and I was going to get him to say yes, even though people said no, he'll be a little tough. So I found the fact that he did pitch a game. So when I encountered Mr. Williams, he wouldn't even look at me. I said, I don't want to even interview you about hitting. That got his attention. I said, I want to talk to you about when you pitched against the Tigers back in 1940. He looked at me, he said, come here, meat. Ground ball glove by Rizzo. He takes a hit away from Decker as Samardzija covers at first base. Good play by Rizzo.
So how many minutes was that interview? He's probably
10 minutes. It was a
really?
10-minute. No, he knew
10
it was a
minutes.
radio interview with a commercial in between. And the beauty of it all is, the beauty of it all, the experience. And I tell young people, you've got to find a way to get someone's attention sometime. And he never forgot me. Every time we'd run into him at the Jimmy Fund in Boston, and he'd always say, hey, Meade, how you doing? Come on over. And then late in his career, Tony, and of course he'd come back to San Diego, and we'd all try to get a little piece of Ted. He would say, do you want to have breakfast sometime? We'll talk a little baseball when I'm in town. I said, are you kidding me? My idol wants to go out and have breakfast and talk baseball. So that pitching assignment helped me to meet my hero. And I tell young kids, it's a nice circle that could be followed. You start idolizing someone, you want to hit like him, and then someday he actually calls you up and says, do you want to talk? Well, Decker denied a possible base hit, but Stoltz says, hey, Samardzija, you got a double. Take this. I've got my 9th hit of the year, a single, and we have a Fox Sports 1 game break. So the Arizona Diamondbacks, with the Dodgers losing, hoping to gain a full game and the 9.5 back of LA, as Will Venable singled his first time, stole his 15th base. Stoltz at first, so each pitcher with a base hit tonight.
And how about that for Eric Stoltz? 0-2. 0-2. He hangs in there. Padres got to make that hurt. Splitting.
Our Coors Light cold hard fact tonight. Frost brewed Coors Light. National League leaders most home runs by teammates. The partnership of Jerko and Venable, 14 home runs here in the month of August. That's the most in the National League. And Murphy and Rizzo, the Cubs, second with 13. Ahead of the Atlanta pair of Johnson and Upton. Rolled to the right side. Rizzo goes there for one. Samardzija covering, but they can't double up Venable. And the Cubs satisfied with the fielder's choice as they get the lead runner. And for the Padres, a good thing. That gets the pitcher back on the bench.
Hill's already stolen a base once tonight, and maybe he can get himself in scoring position.
Amarista steps up. See if Venable can pick a good spot to steal. Move into scoring position.
Samardzija threw Venable 3 straight split fingers.
Right out of the get-go.
So, maybe in this situation he can pick out one here that he can.
93, just misses. Two outs here in the Padre third, no score. Venable at first.
Looks like a backdoor slider right here.
Big lead, Venable. And it's a strike.
He left that one over the heart of the plate.
He's leaning just a little bit at first. I haven't seen him throw over the first yet either. I know that's Will's thinking about that. Hadn't seen his move.
Dave Roberts helping Venable with the lead.
Get that stopwatch in his right hand.
It's a good move. Samardzija has quick feet.
Yeah, you know, for a big frame, Samardzija is very quick, and it's all in the feet. Watch how he just kind of spins on those feet, throws a dart over to first base. Can't have that big arm swing like you're throwing the ball to the plate. You have to shorten it up, throw it like it's a dart, so you get it there quickly and accurately.
So Will is out there pretty good. He's at the cut of the grass. And that's a pretty good lead over there at first base.
Yeah, right here, Tony. 17 feet. Talk to Luke Yoder about that from the cut right there.
He's to the cut and maybe a few inches more. Amarista. Castro. Well, left fielder McDonald calls off Castro, and for the second time, Amarista pops up to short left. Many of them sporting those San Diego Padre ball caps given away tonight. The first 25,000 here at Petco. As we move to the top of the fourth inning, no runs, 2 hits for the Cubs. No runs, 2 hits for the Padres. The 2 pitchers with hits. Samardzija a double and Stoltz a single. As the left-hander from Northern Indiana goes to work against the middle 3 of the Cubs order, Murphy, Lake, and McDonald.
It's always a good thing to bring your camera to the ball game. Some shutter bugs, getting some big league action, right?
Prize photos. They get beauty of today with the modern equipment. If you don't like the photo, you just kind of erase that and go after another.
I still got one of those things where it comes out, slides out underneath that little cardboard
Does
picture.
it make that kind
you
of
got to
sound?
wave it in the air. Yeah.
My wife's laughing right now because I do too.
It's a
the Polaroid. You still have a Polaroid?
Oh yeah, I still have it.
Yeah, I don't know. You can even buy the film for those.
Yeah, you have to go to specialty shops.
Swing and a miss. Off speed and Donnie Murphy out in front. It's 1-2.
You know, we always see Tony Gwynn jerseys in the stands, and I love that. Padre pride, the new, the old, the brown, the blue. Guess what I saw the other day? An Eric Owens dirty T-shirt giveaway.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah, remember that.
Eric Owens number 8, and it had the little, like he used to slide head first, and he had the the brown part on the front of the jersey. Eric Owens dirty T-shirt night. That was like 1999 or something, wasn't it?
Fastball up 3-2.
See that hat a lot.
Yeah.
That hat's making a comeback.
The new caps given away tonight.
New caps look great.
They do. Popped up, not very high. Back of the plate. Hundley! Watch out, can't quite get there. Had he had just another step more time because the ball wasn't hit very high, he might have been able to lean in there.
Flash look.
See him looking.
Oh, just off the edge of the mitt.
And where he is, and just a little bit short.
3-2 to Murphy. Strike 3 called. Stultz gets that slider over the inside corner for his second strikeout. He's caught Murphy looking twice.
You know, that could be a dangerous pitch because if you leave that pitch over the heart of the plate or middle in just a little bit, it could be dangerous. Speeds up the bat. But he places it perfectly. It freezes Murphy.
Good pitch.
Nice.
Junior Lake lined out to the left fielder. Jeff Decker the first time. Well, congratulations to Chula Vista East Lake. They beat Westport, Connecticut. They thumped them 12-1 today for the U.S. Championship of the Little League World Series. And they're going to beat Japan tomorrow. Japan defeated Tijuana 3-2. A tough one for the Mexican team. They had a chance to tie it and failed. So 3-2 Japan the winner. And Chula Vista East Lake will play Japan tomorrow. That's going to be a terrific final.
Look at that little kid with the glove on. Is that Precious or what? I love that. Look at it. He's waiting for a foul ball. Hey, Cha-Cha, I want a ball. Come on. Throw me one my way. I'm ready to go.
That's terrific.
Tell Pops to take that Yankee hat off.
Does he have a Yankee?
Yeah,
Did he
got a
really?
Yankee hat on.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
1-2 the count. Lined on a one hop. Forsythe stays with it. And in the dirt dug out by Alonso. Oh, Lakes hit the ball hard twice and is 0 for 2. Now, speaking of the locals, they started in the first inning with 3 runs against Connecticut, and the boys from the east side of our country had a little trouble fielding the ball early, and the 3 runs early was enough to win the game. And Mora, who was the pitcher and has been the star for East Lake, another home run. Boy, that was
way
a home
there.
run beyond a home run.
You know, these kids are getting bigger and stronger. They got to change the dimensions, I think, in Little League.
I think you're right. But
And I'm not saying they're drastic, but, you know, they got to change it up a little bit.
Darnell McDonald fly to right the first time.
Little League is good with those kind of things. I mean, you know, they were the first ones to have a pitch count for pitchers.
That's right.
And the kids are. I mean, there's some kids on both teams, all the teams.
Well, and you got to play everyone too. I like that.
You know, Little League's got some great rules, but I think we're seeing 200 feet all the way around isn't big enough now. And it wouldn't surprise me here in the years to come that they make some changes.
Well, one kid hit East Lake. He's 6 feet 4 inches
Yeah.
tall. I mean, ground ball, and it's Forsythe ranging near the bag to throw out McDonald. A 1, 2, 3 inning for Stultz.
The starter for the Cubs, an outstanding wide receiver at Notre Dame. So that inspires our AT&T Twitter poll question this evening. We're asking you, who is the best athlete in baseball? And here are your choices. Bo Jackson, of course, the only all-star in Major League Baseball and the NFL. Jackie Robinson, lettered in 4 sports at UCLA. Dave Winfield, drafted in 3 sports out of college. And Tony Gwynn, Hall of Famer, drafted by the Padres and the Clippers on the same day. The way you vote, hashtag the first name of your choice and the word athlete. We'll update you later on in the game. And Tony, how about that? Drafted by the Clippers and the Padres on the same day.
I don't know if I belong on that list.
But I know how the vote's going to come out.
I'll tell you what, boy, Bo Jackson, to be all-pro in 2 sports, make an all-star team and all-pro in football.
Remember that home run he hit in the All-Star game? Was that Anaheim Stadium?
Anaheim, yeah. I was standing in right field when he hit it, and it seems like it's still going. Exactly.
That was a monster.
Dave Winfield was a great athlete, too, but I think Jackie Robinson probably has all 3 of us beat.
You know,
baseball was his 4th sport.
Yeah.
Mike Pomerantz and I and Mark Sweeney were talking before the game about Bo Jackson. It's just a shame that he got hurt the way he did.
I did that game.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was against the Raiders. And he was dragged down from behind. It was kind of a horse collar tackle. And at the time, didn't seem like a serious injury, but it totally ruined his hip. He never was the same.
Boy, he was something. All those guys. T bringing up the rock, setting up the offense, crossing the timeline. Were you a good shooter, T?
No.
You were a ball handler.
No, I could handle the ball and I could pass, but I really wasn't a good shooter.
And you drive well? Could you get inside?
I could take it to the basket.
There was no 3-point ring, though, when you were playing, right?
No.
2-1 now to Jerko, and lined out his first time. Alonso has rolled out to second. Bottom of the 4th, 1 out. No score. He went around, says plate umpire Eric Cooper, and Jerko becomes the first strikeout victim of Samardzija tonight.
You know, don't forget Deion Sanders as well.
I thought about Deion. You know, he didn't quite have the baseball career, but
split finger Tony in the dirt. Jerko can't hold up.
My years doing the NFL, he was the fastest man on the field that I ever saw.
Deion?
In uniform.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when he played with the Reds, there were a few times where you got to see him go from home plate to third base on a triple. And Willie McGee was always the best base running speedster that I ever saw, but Deion Sanders was pretty good.
I was a teammate of Deion's in '91, the Braves. I raced him at Riverfront Stadium just during BP. I said, Deion, I just got to know. I've got to know. I've got to see it firsthand.
Did he give you a head start?
No, but Pete Smith had the hands, you know, the hat up in the air, drop the hat, go from the foul line. I turned 1 full stride, and he was like 3 strides already ahead of me.
That ball driven to center field, but right at junior leg. So Headley a line out. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Samardzija. We're on to the 5th. Still no score. Brought to you by CHN. Real friendly, real close. By Del Mar. Wednesdays are free and easy for Diamond Club members at Del Mar, and tomorrow they host the $1 million Pacific Classic. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Four innings in the books. No runs, 2 hits for each side. As Eric Stoltz and Jeff Samardzija in a pitcher's duel. Top of the 5th, lower 3rd of the order. For Chicago, Cole Gillespie leading off, takes a strike. Then it'll be Darwin Barney and the pitcher Samardzija. Strike 2. Many would argue, Tony Gwynn and Mark Grant, that of the general scope of sports teams and the athletes, that the NBA have the best athletes in the world.
They're special, that's for sure.
Out of play.
I've always thought that.
You're down at courtside, and these men, from 6'3" to 7'3", and the power and the agility, and I mean it's mind-boggling. You talk about the little league field being too small. I think the court's too small.
Well, you covered basketball a long time, especially when you sit at court level. That's when you find out how physical it is.
Yes.
In college and in the NBA. I mean, it's.
Well,
swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt, so Hundley will tag and misses him, so the putout goes 2-3.
Guys, the one sport that really fascinates me, and I know they go in shifts, but hockey players, my goodness, at that level, on those blades, the stick handling, they get the tar knocked out of them. They get right back up. Those guys, to me, are unbelievably special athletes.
I wish we'd get a NHL team in San Diego.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I would love to go to the rink.
Yeah, they've always supported hockey well here. That's a great spectator sport. Barney takes a strike.
Now, chess players. Bobby Fischer, one of the best athletes in all the world.
Did he have hand speed?
Good hand-eye coordination, moving that rook.
Way out in front is Barney. And Stoltz quickly ahead, 2 strikes.
Tony, more nervous like before a college basketball game or a college baseball game?
College basketball.
Really?
It was. I loved college basketball.
It's too bad you couldn't have played in like the arena, Viejas Arena.
Well, we played at the sports arena, so it wasn't like we didn't have a good place to play.
Did they pack it?
No.
Uh-oh, Barney gets into that one, and it's driven deep to left field and gone. His 7th home run of the year. He hit one against the Padres in Chicago back in April. And the Cubs strike first, 1-0 on the Barney home run. Cubs add to their National League lead, extra base hits. And they're 2nd in the National League in home runs. That's their 142nd.
Well, you know what, guys? There are mistakes, and then there are 0-2 mistakes. That was a breaking ball that he just didn't get down. He just didn't get it in enough. Speeds up the bat of Barney. And the Cubs are on the board.
So Darwin Barney gives the Cubs the 1-0 lead here in the 5th. Here's Samardzija. He doubled to left center his first time. After taking a couple of swings like that, and then he drilled one past Forsythe out into left center.
It's all about rebounding right now. Okay, you give up the home run. It's a solo shot. You trail by 1. You got to score one anyway, right, to try to win. Hold them right there. Quick 2 outs here, hopefully for Eric Stoltz.
Leadoff hitter Castro on deck. Cubs with 1 home run last night. First inning, Nate Scherholtz, a 3-run homer. Swing and a miss. Couple of strikeouts here in the 5th for Stoltz. As we go to Starlin Castro, the leadoff hitter.
The pitch to Barney was just elevated just enough for him to get to it and through it.
the 11th home run allowed by Stoltz this year. He doesn't give up many. Castro fouls that away. Let's take a look at the pitch again.
He wanted this ball in and down, and you see it's elevated, and like we saw last night with Jed Jerko, Venable, you get one elevated a little bit. If you put a good swing on it, it's usually going to go a long way.
Yeah, that one was begging, hit me, hit me.
Just didn't get in there enough. Of course, when you don't get a lot of them, of course, it feels good to give your team the lead.
Barney's having a rough year, batting only .216. He's one of only 4 Cubs left from last year's 25-man roster. Isn't that something?
Wow.
At the start of the season last year, only 4 are left. This man, Castro, the relief pitcher Russell, and Samardzija, the only 4.
Pretty in-depth conversation with Chris Bosio, the pitching coach of the Cubs, huh? How many times do you see that, T? A hitter sitting down at length.
You don't hit a whole lot of them. That's what I mean. You'll talk about it with anybody.
In the dirt, but dug out neatly by Alonso as Castro grounds out. Barney has given the Cubs the lead.
Forsythe will lead off the inning. I spoke with the hitting coach Alonzo Powell about Forsythe, and he said, hey, he has a short, compact swing, so they've tried to make some adjustments. They felt that if he was a little more upright in his stance, it would benefit him. They also worked on clearing his hands a little further away from his body to give him a better path to the baseball, and this allows him to let his strong hands work. And Powell called Forsythe's strong hands the biggest component of his swing. Of course, guys, it helps that he's seeing the ball well also, too.
It does. And, I totally understand wanting to get his hands away from his body because he does have strong hands. That's why he has a quick bat.
Tony, during your career, how many times did you try to alter your hands or stance?
Not much. I mean, when you're first starting out, you're trying to figure out what's going to work. And what I mean by having strong hands is that, he knows his hands are quick enough to hit the fastball, but what you have to learn is how to stay back and handle all the other stuff.
1-2 as Samardzija wastes one in the dirt.
It's a constant, you're constantly tinkering. I started out in the big leagues with a closed stance when I first came up, and then I gradually learned to kind of even it out.
Right.
Ended up just slightly open. But you're constantly trying to figure out, okay, what works for me.
Swing and a miss. Got him with a curveball. Only the second strikeout for Samardzija.
Hanging looked like a splitty right there. Kind of left it up. So far tonight, Padres haven't been able to handle that pitch.
And Samardzija very economical tonight. Here he is, one out in the fifth, and he's only thrown 41 pitches. Hundley. Slider. Hundley grounded to short his first time. Jeff Decker to follow.
Talk about being efficient. Check out that pitch count. 10 pitches is the most he's thrown in any inning so far.
Wow.
It seems like him and Navarro are on the same page. Not much shaking going on right now.
Look like a cut fastball. You take a look at the ERA. Opposing batting average earlier in the year, April and May. Hitters are getting onto him.
June swoon, yeah. But so far tonight, solid shutout innings for Samardzija.
You know, I've always looked at Jeff Samardzija. You put a puffy shirt on him with a sword, he's a musketeer. You know, he's got the long salad. He's got the little mustache with the, the chin goatee.
D'Artagnan.
There you go. Nice.
Well, he was a relief pitcher his first 4 years with the Cubs, and then he was moved to the starting role last year. It was 9-13, 7-11 his record coming into the game tonight. Another foul. Off-field news: Sean O'Sullivan has cleared waivers and has accepted an assignment at Tucson, so he's back in the Padre organization. That's good news. He was available for the last week to be picked up on waivers. In the dirt, 2-2. Also on the farm, Raymond Fuentes, the outfielder that was moved from San Antonio to Tucson, 3 for 5 last night. He's hitting .420, ripping up the Pacific Coast League. 21 for 50. Fuentes. I get a feeling we might see him in September. 2-2. Way outside. And Malik Smith, an outfielder, Fort Wayne, stole his 60th and 61st base last night. He was the 5th round pick of the Padres a year ago. Struck him out. Got him with that split finger.
Hey, the Fox Sports Girls Fantasy Football Draft is back, guys. Tune in live to foxsports.com/fantasy draft on August 29th to see who the San Diego girls select. Hosted by Patrick O'Neill and fantasy expert Ryan Fowler. The draft kicks off August 29th at 6 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on foxsports.com/fantasy draft. How you doing, Dick?
Jeff Decker, 2 outs on strikeouts for Samardzija here in the 5th. Decker denied a hit on a good play made by Rizzo, diving into the hole using that big glove to swallow his bid for a base hit. 3-1 putout.
We talked about Samardzija's pitch count. To Hundley, that was his first 3-ball count.
Samardzija has a couple of complete games. And, that sounds ordinary, but it's not.
No.
On this day, any complete game is worthy of a headline note. 1-1 to Decker. And he goes off speed on a slider on the outside corner. 1-2.
You guys notice how Samardzija, he has as much confidence in that split finger as he does his fastball. He sets up with the split finger grip. He's setting it up right now, and then he will adjust accordingly in his glove. I'm guessing splitty here.
Ground ball again to Rizzo. 3-1. And the Padres go in order again. That's 8 straight retired by Samardzija. the noteworthy item. Double play there as the Padres Forsythe drafts into a double play, and Samardzij's stuff has been dazzling tonight. Stoltz as well. Stoltz with 4 strikeouts, but 1 mistake. He hangs that breaking ball, and Darwin Barney plants it into the left field lower deck, and that's the only run of the game. As we go to the 6th inning, and there are your totals: 1-3-0 for the Cubs, 0-2-0 for San Diego. A couple of singles: Will Venable and Eric Stoltz with the base hits. Rizzo pops that high behind home plate. Hundley runs out of room, and it lands just over the backstop screen. Rizzo and Chris Denorfia were teammates. World Baseball Classic, playing for Italy. Of course, they knew each other well from Rizzo's time here in San Diego. Navarro and then Murphy to follow. Tries to hit that outside corner. 3 balls and a strike. Rizzo walked the last time. Popped up in the 1st inning. High fly ball left center field. Chasing Amarista back and then forward. That was way up there. One away.
Tony, we talked about, and Dick also, I mean, you've been there many times and seen baseball games, hitting at Wrigley Field. Did you like hitting at Wrigley Field?
No.
And really?
You know why? Because you know, when you go to Wrigley Field, everybody's checking the flag. See which way the wind's blowing.
That's the first thing I did when I got out of the cab.
I was a ground ball hitter.
Nice.
And the grass was so thick.
Yes.
At Wrigley. It's not that way now, but when we played, you had to hit the dirt first, because if you hit the grass first, it was just going to kill it.
Like hitting it through ice plant.
Oh, it was it was tough.
Remember the first time you tried it? I mean, I didn't know what ice plant was. Tried to play golf and came to California and got my ball in that ice plant, sitting right up there, no problem. I think I broke both wrists.
Yeah.
The ball went backwards.
Yeah.
Navarro way out in front.
There's that dangerous pitch to Barney, but the one to Barney was over the inner third of the plate, caught more of the plate. Thank goodness that ball was in enough.
Got it in.
Yeah.
That's what he was trying to do to Barney. Get it in. Let him go ahead and see how far he could hit it foul, but it didn't get in enough.
Darwin Barney looks like he's about 15 years old, doesn't he?
Got some high school looking guys on there.
Yes.
He looked like he just graduated high school.
Count remains 2 strikes on Navarro. He's flying to left and flying to right. The Cubs start tonight in last place in the National League Central, 22 games behind the Pirates. Pirates with a 1-game edge over St. Louis. Cincinnati 3.5 back in a very contentious Central Division. Now 2-2.
20, like you said, Dick, 22 games out, right? They average 33,236 at Wrigley Field. Their home attendance average.
As you said, it's a party and the game breaks out. Base hit to left field for Navarro. 4th hit off Stoltz with 1 out, brings up Donnie Murphy. There are the standings with the Brewers struggling this year, and the Cubs down in the cellar. They've done a total revamping of their roster, as we indicated. 21 of the 25 players currently on the roster weren't on the team at the start of the 2012 season. Murphy has struck out both times, looking. Not this time. Line drive center field, base hit. Amarista will get it in. First time in the game either team has had 2 hits in an inning.
It's kind of this time Murphy said, I'm hitting the first thing I can hit. I'm not going to strike out. This time he got a breaking ball up in the zone and goes right back up the middle with it. Wasn't hitting hard, but he squared it up and got it out to the outfield.
So Wrigley Field was your least favorite ballpark?
Oh yeah, Wrigley. I mean, I love the atmosphere. I love the old ballpark and how passionate the Cub fans were about their team. But just from a hitting standpoint, the grass was thick. Usually the wind was blowing in when we were playing there.
Junior Lake takes ball 1. He's hit the ball on the nose twice, lined out to left, and smashed one to short.
What was your favorite park to hit in, Tony?
Atlanta, Fulton County. Oh, Fulton County. Oh, that was
good hit.
The launching pad they used to call it. Oh, it was
People
really
forget the high altitude at Atlanta. Yep. This could be 2, but Lake runs fast. There's 1. Got to hurry, Jerko, and they turn it 6-4-3. They had to be perfect on that one with Lake streaking up the line. Forsythe with a quick feed, and Jerko the strong arm, 6-4-3.
Lead. Now, he's been inconsistent this season at times, but Bud Black saying today that he's been real impressed with Samardzija, says he has a great arm with good stuff, and his changeup can be devastating when he's on, but the strike zone has been elusive for him at times. Bud said, we have to be ready for the stuff, good velocity and pitches in the hitting area, and be patient, not trying to expand the zone. And he also mentioned that it's tough to do with a pitcher who has stuff like Samardzija. I wanted to get your take on that, Tony.
Basically what he's saying is that you got to make Samardzija throw strikes. Yes, he does have good stuff, but as we see tonight, when he's thrown the split finger, he usually hadn't thrown it for a strike.
Eric Stoltz, one of the 2 hits off Samardzija, single to left field. He has not walked a man, and that's been the difference. Samardzija usually gives you 3 or 4. Not tonight.
And I think another thing about Samardzija is that sometimes when he gets in a little pinch, he tries to throw the ball harder. Now he's going to learn through time. I mean, he's been in the big leagues now for a while to where, it's time to make an adjustment if needed, and he can do that. But rather than being a thrower, being a pitcher. Yeah. And that's why I think he has trust in that split finger like we've seen tonight, rather than trying to throw it through a brick wall when he gets up against the wall.
Reaches out, punches that to left, and McDonald there to make the catch.
When you get hitters swinging at it like he's gotten tonight.
Will Venable steps up with his 18 home runs to lead the team, and since 2004 he's on the big list. Giles, Cameron twice, Venable, and Klesko. Most single season home runs by outfielder since 2004, and of course Venable has another full month ahead. to add to his 18 homers. Padres need to get something on the board. That 1 run scored on the Darwin Barney home run in the 5th inning is growing taller and taller.
They were down 6 last night, so they feel they're right in this game.
1 ball, 1 strike to Venable, who is single to left and safe on a fielder's choice.
Samardzija can locate that split finger like he did that last one. And now you're facing a tough hombre.
I think here comes another one.
So Will struck out on that split finger last time up, so he's getting a good look at it. You see a old-fashioned Rick Sutcliffe jersey. Bring back the flashback of '84.
Line foul. Out in front was Venable, 2-2. That brought the pulse rate up a bit. Those ladies down in the corner.
Well, let him get his hands through there, Tony.
Kept his hands inside.
That ball driven into the right field corner, may have the distance at the foul pole, and Venable has done it again. Touch them all. It's a tie game.
I'm going to say that was a split finger. I'm just taking a guess at it, just from the way he attacked that.
Venable goes to the Petco porch.
The split finger was up a little bit.
Look at how far out in front he catches that baseball and keeps that ball fair. Kind of down by the label a little bit as well.
That one is about 330 feet. Last night it was 441 feet.
Good enough extension right there. And notice it didn't hook. It stayed straight.
$18 home runs given up by Samardzija now this season. So the game is even. Venable's power continues to impress.
Samardzija had him 2-2. Okay, it's been fun to watch Will Venable. How about a nice cool drink there?
Since the All-Star break, Venable with 8 home runs.
I'll go back to his first at bat tonight. The base hit to left field might have been what set that up later, because you get a base hit to left field, you think, okay, we'll look for this ball out over the plate, and you feel like you can get it. Bam, home run.
So Venable now is the club leader in home runs and RBIs. Pulled foul. 19 homers for Venable, and now 46 runs batted in. Yeah, this is certainly patch of work from mid-July here to late in August is the best 5 weeks of his major league life.
You got to feel good for him too, because he used to be so hard on himself.
Amarista goes down swinging.
Well, he's starting to have some success. And with success, you get belief in what you're doing.
Well, Samardzija bouncing back after the home run. Split finger. Eric Cooper says foul tip, held on by Navarro for the strikeout.
Alonso 0 for 2 ground ball outs. Venable will be 31 in October, so he's not a spring chicken. But he started in this game late. He was a basketball player, even though his dad was a major league player. Alonso gets into that one deep to center. Lake going back off the base of the wall. Here comes Alonso. He better hurry, and he's in with a double. That ball caromed right back to Lake, and had the second baseman fielded the ball on the throw cleanly, they might have had a shot at Alonso.
Tony, I don't think Junior Lake realized how well this ball was struck, because he kind of held his ground a little bit and then realized it was over his head.
I thought Alonso thought he got it. He was just kind of cruising along, and then he had to turn it on a notch to get into second base.
That was Castro who dropped the ball on the relay. So the Padres with a 1-1 tie have Jerko up with 2 outs and a chance to take the lead. Jerko is lined to left and struck out swinging. There he is behind Goldschmidt and Jason Worth in home run since the All-Star break. Ground ball, shortstop Castro. And the inning comes to an end, but the Padres with a home run and a double have evened the count after 6. Will Venable, another home run, number 19, to tie at 1.
Cubs game 2 of this 3-game set. Mark Sweeney and I are working on the post-game show. Jeff Smarja had it going on. Will Venable, though, made him pay.
Yeah, looked very comfortable until that Will Venable swing. But when Will gets that top hand going and that extension through, which I think his lower half has produced that, Will Venable's confidence level is through the roof right now.
When we see you in a post-game show, we're going to have more on that. You'll hear from Buddy Black. Mark Sweeney will talk about Logan Forsythe's defense and a lot more on hot Will Venable. We'll see you after the final out.
All right, Mike, a couple of solo home runs, the story tonight. Darwin Barney is 7th for the Cubs, and Will Venable, number 19, the club leader for the Padres. It'll be Darnell, McDonald, then Gillespie and Barney here in the top of the 7th inning against Eric Stoltz. 1-2 now the count to McDonald, who's flying to right, grounded to short. It was a first-round pick by the Orioles 6 years ago, McDonald. Check that. Not 6 years ago, but 16 years ago. He's 34 now. And with Baltimore, Minnesota, Cincinnati, Boston, the Yankees, and now the Cubs. Foul back.
Well, I like as you take a look at the Cubs box score, the one thing that really sticks out to me is how Eric Stoltz bounced back after the home run. Sure, it's the bottom of the order, but the pitcher spot, hey, he's got to swing the bat too, right? He's got a double. And then the top of the order, Castro, to get out of that 5th inning, leaving it at 1 run.
Stoltz thought he had him struck out with this pitch. That's a pretty good pitch.
Yes, it is.
That's the pitch he's been getting tonight, too, is that ball down.
So the count now 3-2, and Foxtrack said that should have been strike 3. Instead, McDonald earns a leadoff walk. Never a good sign. That's the second walk from Stoltz tonight. And his pitch count now at 93. Gillespie is flying to right and struck out swinging. High strike. Nick Vincent pitched an inning last night, was part of that terrific job of the bullpen. 8 1/3 shutout innings. Stauffer, Thayer, Vincent, Gregerson, and Houston Street with his 25th save. Cubs getting 6 in the first and then shut down from there on by the bullpen.
Well, it really tells you something about the bullpen, doesn't it? My goodness, the strength of the Padres
has always been.
Yeah.
Especially since coming to this ballpark.
Brad Boxberger there with the pros.
Those are my guys down there. Love the guys in the pen. Tim Stauffer picking up his teammates.
2-1 now to Cole Gillespie.
Relievers never get enough love, T. Come on.
Yeah. I just said this the strongest part of this club.
I want to hear it again.
Since they've been at Petco Park, the relievers
sing it to me.
Has been the strongest part of this club. That's why Buddy Black and Darren Balsley are so.
Pass the basket.
Wait a minute, let me finish. It's so sorry that they couldn't help Edison Volquez because they're teachers, and these guys have taken guys and are taking guys, put them in the bullpen, and they've pitched great for those two guys.
Dale Thayer, classic example.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
Fly ball to right, hit pretty well. Venable has to coast back. And one away as McDonald returns to first base and Darwin Barney comes up. Our freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Let's go back to Barney's home run in the 5th inning, and you freeze it right on the sweet spot.
Tried to get it inside a little bit more and just did not get it there.
Number 7 for Barney to give the Cubs a short-lived 1-0 lead. Will Venable took care of that with the home run bottom of the 6th. Barney back up. Pitcher's spot Samardzija next. Boy, what a sky. That late sun starting to get the pinks of the twilight into the reflection of the clouds.
That look like popcorn kernels right there up in the air, huh?
Barney likes to go the other way, and there's a big hole on that right side. Boy, nice strike there. 100 pitches now for Stultz. He's been the workhorse of the staff this year. He's logged enough innings. He's in the top 10 National League. Barney hits that one well again, deep into the corner, and Decker will have to play it on a hop against the wall. Here they're going to send the runner. There's going to be a play at the plate. Oh, the throw is over the head of Hundley. And the Cubs dare the Padres. That's a sure out at the plate. But the relay airmailed by Forsythe, and the Cubs get away with one there. Boy, third base coach David Bell waving in the runner, and that looked like he was going to run him into an easy out.
Exactly. I thought the same thing. When we watch this play develop, Barney, okay, goes to left field. Decker's got to get it. David Bell, right at that point, I thought, you know what, Logan Forsythe, strong arm, he's got a great chance, airmails it.
We got an argument here because a thrown ball that goes into the stands, the runner should get two bases. And right now they're saying that Barney wasn't to second base. And we just saw on that replay that Barney was already coming across second base as Forsythe was throwing that ball.
So the leadoff walk has become a run here in the 7th inning, and now Bud Black going out to the mound as
see there goes the throw into the stands, and Barney's at second base, and I wonder if this would be one of those plays for replay.
Might be, yes indeed. 2-1 Cubs. Pitching change. Miles McDonald.
You see the throw goes over Hundley's head and into the stands, and you see there's Warney at second base on his way to third, and technically thrown ball into the stands, you should get 2 bases. And Dale Swain came out and argued his case and didn't win. And you know, if we were in our replay mode for next year, this would be the 7th inning. He'd have 2 challenges. I'm sure that red flag would go out and take a look at this play.
Well, we saw Nick Vincent last night. Dick mentioned it. 1 inning, 1 hit. Part of that bullpen that picked up Edinson Volquez. He also struck out 1 Cub. Infield in for Nick.
1 out, runner at third. And Samardzija, the pitcher, with a double and a strikeout. You know he can handle the bat. Padres trying to keep it at 2-1. Barney at third. I was shocked when third base coach Bell waved the runner around.
Well, Dick, you saw the play developing right there like we did. It's like, wait a minute, he's going to send it.
Running right into an out, but the throw by Forsythe way off the mark. Good cut by Samardzija. The count 1-2. Just see where the runner is. McDonald, as Forsythe has the ball, he's still 60 feet from home plate. Wow. Fans not ready for that throw. 1-2 the count. Ooh, that one gets plate umpire Eric Cooper right in the mask. That'll rattle the cage.
Samardzija's not getting cheated up there either.
Nope.
He's trying to get something in the air and get that run in.
So the number 8 hitter in the Cubs lineup doing all the damage tonight. Darwin Barney. Solo home run, RBI double. He's at third, 1 out. Foul tip, strike 3. That's just what the doctor ordered. As Vincent strikes out the pitcher, top of the order, here comes Castro.
Cutter, slider from Nick Vincent. That looks like a cutter up and away. Even though Samardzija gets extended, way behind that one. Very late.
Castro a single and 2 ground outs to short. 2-1 Cubs here in the top of the 7th. Terrific catch by a fan. Brought the glove in the first row of the mezzanine. Pays off.
Those are great seats right there. 4 foul balls, and he reaches over, brings his glove, as you mentioned, Dick. Heck of a grab.
Nice play.
Look at this son. Proud of Papa.
Yeah, he's going back to the ice cream.
That's my dad. In there, off speed. Yeah. Not really. 90 miles an hour on that pitch. Paid it. The corner.
Right on the black on the inside corner.
So 1-2 to Castro. Barney at third. That one caroling all the way down to the first row behind the screen. Well, folks, tomorrow it'll be the final game of this homestand. The Padres 4-4 coming into the game tonight. Andrew Kashner against Chris Russin. 12:30 for Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego. Ooh, that one got him on the left hand. And those are always nasty. All those small bones in the hand and wrist. And you hope nothing serious develops out of that. Castro hit by a pitch.
Fingers holding on to that bat.
That's how Yonder Alonso broke the bone in his hand.
Buddy's asking if that hit the knob of the bat. I would think, because it may have gotten a piece of the bat as well.
Yep, it could have gone off the knob.
I think it caught a little bit of the knob as well.
Sometimes it's in how you sell it. I think the knob got his hand too.
So first and third, 2 outs to Anthony Rizzo. Hitting against a right-handed pitcher now. He was 0 for 2 against the lefty Stultz with a walk. Seventh inning, and the Cubs got a leadoff walk. Darnell McDonald came around on Barney's double into the left field corner. Vincent in to strike out Samardzija. Now first and third, 2 outs. And that ball into shallow center field, and it's going to fall for a base hit. Barney scores. On to third goes Castro. It's 3-1 Cubs. Rizzo dropping a soft single into center field. Make it 3-1.
Tried to get in his kitchen. First started him up with a slider. Anthony fists that one to shallow center field. Then elevated a little bit, enabling him to send it to the outfield on a fly rather than down. That ball's probably going to be a grounder.
So first and third with 2 outs, and that run charged to Eric Stultz. You can close the book on him. 6 and a third, 3 runs, all earned, 6 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Navarro, 2 fly balls and a single to left, batting right-handed. We mentioned 391 right-handed, but 262 as a left-handed hitter. Should have been a judge, Navarro. The honor.
Wearing the robe with the gavel. Well, the gavel, there's somewhat of a gavel in his hand, right, with that bat. Court is adjourned.
That's what Vincent's trying to accomplish.
Hey, Judge.
Pardon me. Refer to me as the honor.
The Honorable Mr. Enberg.
There you go. Ground ball at Jerko. And that ends the inning. But the Cubs get 2 on 2 hits and lead 3-1.
bottom of the 7th inning. Cubs lead 3-1. And time now for an update on your AT&T Twitter poll results. We asked you, who's the best athlete in baseball? And Bo Jackson runs away with this one. I'm okay with that. I agree with that. 63% of the votes. Tony Gwynn comes in second place. Tony Athlete with 20% of the votes. So, Tony, you did have some votes, and Bo Jackson is the winner.
Well, I appreciate the votes, but I definitely should be fourth on that list right there. I can tell you that. I'm not surprised Bo Jackson's a name people have heard, people know, and he was one heck of an athlete. College football, college baseball, Joseph Pros, played for the Kansas City Royals on the baseball end, Oakland Raiders on the football end, all-pro in both sports.
Padres need 2 now to tie, and Chase Headley leads it off here. Bottom of the 7th with Forsythe and Hundley to follow. Chase hit by a pitch and lined to center field. Two and 0. It was a leadoff walk that started things for the Cubs in the top half of the inning. It led to Eric Stoltz's demise. Line drive into right center field, rolling up the gap. Headley will take a turn, and he's going to try to go to second. Here comes the throw. He's in there. A hustle double for Chase Headley as we have a Fox Sports 1 game break. And Chase Headley with a hustle double, right center field. He leads the Padres in doubles. That's his 28th. That's a good start here in the 7th. Logan Forsythe. He hits it to left field, but not far. In comes McDonald for the first out. So just as it happened earlier in the game with a runner at second and no one out, unable to move him over to third on an out.
Split finger up in the zone. That was right on this. If he made up his mind, he was going to go for 2. Went a long way to cut that ball off. It slides into second safely.
You know, even though that line or that last fly ball to left field was an out, Samardzija the last couple pitches been up. The hit by Headley and the out by Forsythe. That one kind of up and out over the plate as well. Hopefully the Padres can capitalize on one pitch here and make it, maybe get 1 or maybe 2.
Hundley has grounded out and struck out. 4 strikeouts for Samardzija, number 4 in the National League in strikeouts. Does not walk a man. Plenty on that one, 94. Only his 77th pitch.
Looks like he's maintained the velocity. 94.
Where he is in the game, he hadn't thrown that many pitches, only 77.
Look at that. Actually, the first inning, 93. This inning, bottom of the 7th, 94.
Jeff Decker on deck. Last of the 7th. It's a big run out there at second to pull within 1. Struck him out. Second time Hundley's gone down swinging. Number 5 for Samardzija.
Split finger. Starts it in the middle of the zone. The bottom falls out of it.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
So Decker with 2 outs. Headley still at second. A modest shift for Decker, who has grounded both times to Rizzo, the first baseman. Shortstop Castro almost behind second base. Mark Kotze would be the pinch hitter apparently for the pitcher Vincent. Decker can keep it going.
It's like Samardzija's got 2 split fingers, one that goes away from left-handed hitters and the other one that goes straight down. Like that. I don't know if that's getting on the side of that.
Well, you know, with the split finger fastball, some guys can, when they're up on top of the baseball, concentrate on that forefinger and push down and in on the forefinger, and on that middle finger.
Luke and Thayer getting ready. Two on one now to young Decker. Hit his first big league home run in Colorado. Venable leading the way with a single, stolen base, and a home run. And Monzo with a double. And Headley a double. He's still out at second now with 2 outs. Padres 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight.
It's kind of a hanging split finger. We're just not used to seeing it break from that kind of height. Again, that was kind of one looked like he got on. He wasn't quite on top of.
Just foul, almost nicked the corner of the bag. And it's 2-2.
You know, Tony, you talk about the split finger fastball. So I'm just going to go to a traditional grip here. You know, it might vary. Some guys stay on top of the ball here or on the side. But when you look at Samardzija, you're talking about different ways he might possibly manipulate the ball. Some guys get on top of the ball and concentrate on that finger that way, right? Because your arm naturally pronates. Well, some guys can concentrate on this finger here, and the ball comes out this way. Sometimes you don't know which way the ball is going to come out. That's why it kind of dips this way or that way, according to how the ball comes out of that split finger grip.
Swing and a miss.
That was nasty.
Samardzija strikes out Hundley and Decker. The leadoff double by Headley wasted here in the 7th. It remains 3-1 Samardzija and the Cubs.
We are back in Petco Park, but quickly a shift to the NFL as Chargers fans. It's time to bolt up. Chargers Insider premieres August 28th, which is next Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. We're going to sit down with Coach McCoy, get all the details on the X's and O's, and also give you an inside look at this team. You'll get to know the coaches and players that make our Sundays great. Chargers Insider, it's coming right up very soon. Very excited about that one, guys.
And you had a chance to chat with Phillip Rivers. Isn't he a terrific guy?
He really is. Such a nice guy. And you know what? They've had some injuries to the wide receiving core. They've dealt with a couple things during training camp, and Rivers, always positive, says he's really looking forward to getting out there and getting this thing going, guys.
Yeah, you're going to have a good fall with the Chargers, and we wish you well. Hope you're talking about a winning Sunday every week, Laura. The Chargers in good hands as Brad Boxberger takes over in the 8th inning. He's been silent out in the bullpen, getting a chance now to finally see some action. Murphy, Lake, and McDonald to bat for the Cubs here in the 8th inning. Tossed 2 shutout innings Monday night against the Pirates, so he's been idle for 5 games.
And knock the rust off a little bit, hold the Cubs at 3, as Tim Stauffer did the other night, going 4+ innings, holding them at 6. The 4th time around in a Padre uniform for Brad Boxberger.
That's in there. Strike 3. Murphy looking at strike 3 for the 3rd time tonight.
And we talk about the location of the fastball. Brad Boxberger went down to Tucson in the minor leagues to try to gather that release point with some consistency. You can see right at the knees, right on the outside corner for the strikeout.
It's the 3rd time tonight Murphy struck out looking on that low fastball.
Lake takes ball 1. That's in there.
I'm sure Brad Boxberger and Ian Kennedy became good friends, right?
Yep.
USC Trojans.
Teammates.
Fight on. I thought that was so funny, that interview I did with Tyson Ross and Ian. That Ian, he put up the V sign. He goes, yeah, V, victory. I mean, victory, V. Just to let everybody know.
Tyson went boo.
Yeah, big boo, he said.
Big boo.
Line drive left field, and that's by Decker to the wall. Junior Lake with terrific speed. He wants a triple out of this. There's going to be a play at 3rd, and he is out of there. Perfect relay. Decker, Forsythe, Headley.
I think you saw it again. You saw was setting up to be a play at 3rd, and this time, perfect relay. Decker to Forsythe, a perfect throw to Headley at 3rd base. Junior Lake puts a good swing on this ball and drives it all the way into the gap. And then watch the relay throw. Decker, perfect throw to Forsythe, on the glove to Headley.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful.
That Decker threw a rope
Yes,
to
he did.
Forsythe, didn't he? Look at that throw.
No tail on that throw, and that's a strong throw to 3rd base.
Tell you, put that on the highlight reel and the instructional reel.
And that's a big relay put out of Lake, because that would have been another Cubs run as McDonald singles to right field. He had thoughts of going to second. He thought maybe I better not, as that ball fielded quickly out there in right center field.
You know, Tony, in spring training, I always felt sorry for you outfielders, because the coaches would get the fungos, and they'd split the gaps, and I could just see you guys out there. Gosh darn it, got to go run down this ball, working on cutoffs and relays.
Gas, going into the gap,
but that's why you do it, right?
That's right, yeah. And sometimes the key throw is from the outfielder to the first relay guy, because if you give him a chance, and that's what they used to tell us, give the infielders a chance to make a play. You saw the strong throw by Decker. Perfect throw to Forsythe. Perfect throw to Headley. And all he's got to do is put the glove right on the shoe tops of Lake sliding into 3rd base. And, yeah, beautiful play.
Saved a run. Now 2 outs with a McDonald single at first base. Gillespie is 0 for 3. A couple of flies to right and a strikeout.
Here it is again. Decker bare hands ball sitting on the warning track, so he bare hands it. Perfect throw. Perfect throw to third. Taps him on the shoe as he's sliding in.
And for Lake, that's the play with one out to try to make a triple.
Yeah, you can try to get to third. Do it with one out, not two.
Now that play with 2 outs is a bad play. With 1 out, it's the right play.
Right. And you can't knock him because the play's right in front of him. He can see where Decker had to go to get the ball. He thought he could get to third, so he came around second base, full steam ahead.
Nice looking runner, isn't it? Good speed.
Looked really good coming out of the box, but perfect relay.
3-1, the Cubs lead here in the top of the 8th. Chicago now with 9 hits, Padres with 5. Just outside with the fastball. On deck is Darwin Barney, and he's been the star of the game so far with a solo home run and an RBI double. He scored 2 runs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Padres defense saves a run on the relay to 9, Junior Lake. Where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, inviting you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. The magic of baseball here at Petco Park. Appreciated in super slow motion. Jeff Samardzija, a solid game and has a 3-1 lead. Goes to work here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mark Kotze leads it off, the pinch hitter.
Boy, from a pitch count standpoint, Samardzija's doing a fine job. That was the 86th pitch from the right-hander.
Kotze then the top of the order. Venable and Amarista for the Padres.
You know, how do you prepare yourself, guys, like Kotze, to a guy like Samardzija, who's got the fastball, and then he's got the splitty working all night long? That's got to be tough, Tony.
Yeah, you're saying, hey, I want to hit a fastball.
Brad Brock just recalled from Tucson, hitting loose. And 3-0 to Kotze. Samardzija's not walked a man. He struck out 6.
That's what you want. You want to try to get some base runners. Get a base runner on.
And he walked him on 4 pitches. How about that? Walks the leadoff man after being perfect in the control department. Even he's smiling sarcastically at himself. Well, tomorrow we hope you'll join us 12:30 for Padres Live here on Fox Sports San Diego. Young left-hander on the mound for the Cubs, Chris Russin. He's 2-3. And for the Padres, it'll be former Cub Andrew Kashner. He's 8-8 and been really unlucky his last 2 starts. Should have had wins in both. Had to swallow losses, but he's pitched extraordinarily well. 12:30 tomorrow here on Fox Sports San Diego. Venable, a single and a home run and a stolen base for the Padres. Off that front foot, lined one into the Petco porch for home run number 19 in the 6th inning. Lines that to right center. It's falling in for a base hit. Cole Gillespie thought for a moment he might go for the catch, but played it safely. And a 3-hit night for Venable. He continues his torrid pace.
I was going to ask the question. You know, Samar just thrown 5 straight balls. Do you want to be aggressive against him, or do you want to make him throw a strike? I agree with Will. Get something to hit. Go ahead, take a swing. See, now you're down 2. I'm guessing they're going to try to move him up.
I would think so too. Bunt it down the third base line. Cubs thinking the same thing. Murphy in on the grass big time.
With 3 hits tonight, Will Venable has hit the 100 hit mark for the season. Amarista 0 for 3 in the game, and the infield looking for the sacrifice. Rizzo creeping in from first, and Murphy has to hold his ground, but in on the grass at third. Bunted toward third.
Perfect.
It's rolling. Fair ball. Luke Yoder, base hit. A grounds crew single.
See, I like to say, when you're trying to do the right thing, he's trying to bunt. He's giving himself up. You try to do the right thing, sometimes the baseball gods smile down upon you. And look at that ball just laying pretty in the dirt on the fair side of that white line.
The rub of the green.
There you go.
So the bases are loaded with no one out here in the 8th inning. A walk, a single by Venable, and a bunt hit for Amarista.
You know, sometimes how that ball rolls on that dirt, the way the seams are rolling, to keep that ball fair one way or the other.
Perfectly placed, obviously.
That was awesome.
Sometimes you can get just as big a kick out of a bunt single as you can a home run.
Oh, did you see the look on Navarro's face as that ball stayed? As that ball stayed
Really?
clear? Are you kidding me?
There they are, a Padre over every pillow. Kotze, Venable, and the go-ahead run carried by Amarista with no one out. Yonder Alonso, swing and a miss. He was going for the Grandmaster on the splitter. Alonso doubled off the base of the wall in right field the last time. Only a .214 hitter with the bases full. 3-1 Cubs, but the Padres with a big chance here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Fly ball to left. That'll get 1 run home. McDonald makes the catch, and the play is to third base to hold that tying run at second. And it's a 3-2 game. Alonso with his 45th RBI of the year. Kotze comes in to score.
Tony, you always talk about it. Getting a pitch, just try not to do it too much with it. That ball had downward action, but Alonso unable to lift that ball to left field for the sac fly.
So 1 out. The tying run, Venable still at second base. Amarista at first. And Jerko comes up. His line to left, struck out and grounded out. Watch out. That's a wicked line drive. It's the first base dugout.
That time.
That big fella, he's able to block the ball and save the beer. Gets an elbow from his bedding. Didn't spill a drop.
Jed was trying to go to right field on that pitch. It was a little bit late.
Ground ball foul. Now a line drive the other way. Scattering fans both sides. Well, last night, 3-run homer when it was 6-0, and that got the Padres back in the game. Came in the 4th inning, and then a little frosting late in the game. That was the 8th run of the night on a drive to the opposite field to the jack deck. Home runs 15 and 16 on the season. He's down on the count, 2 strikes. Venable represents the tying run. Amarista at first. The go-ahead score. 8th inning, 1 out. Tried to get him to go after a high fastball. 97th pitch from Samardzija.
Yeah, that was by design.
Yeah, that was for show.
Navarro was up out of the crouch, actually, given the high target.
And that pitch is to set up this pitch coming right here.
Oh, he just missed that one. A high fly ball to left field. McDonald, finally it comes down into his glove for the 2nd out.
Under it just a little bit too much. Jed Jerko had to protect because Jeff Samardzija started him off. Fastball going exit stage right. Swung on exit stage left. That was by design. Just under it a little bit. Missed it by that much.
Yep. Hanging split.
And Jerko could taste that. So it's up to Headley with 2 outs and 2 on and a run home. Headley hit by a pitch, line to center, and doubled to right center. Takes ball 1. Chase has been stuck on 35 RBIs for a couple of weeks. 100th pitch coming up from Samardzija.
Pitches for Samardzija. Talked about it earlier. This kid's a horse. He's thrown as many as 118 pitches this year in one game.
Headley's last RBI was 20 days ago against the Yankees. Ball gets away. That's going to move the runners up. Now the go-ahead score is in position, and the count 3-0 on Headley, and he may not get to swing a bat now.
It's a pretty good chance they're going to put him on now. But it's a split finger. Just gets away from Navarro. That ball should be caught, but
very
it's not.
catchable.
The pass ball moves Venable to third. Oh, almost on the intentional ball for Samardzija. Almost airmailed it to the screen. Navarro had to go up the ladder to save the run. So Headley aboard on the walk. Bases loaded.
Hey now.
Oh, Samardzija swallowed hard after that one. So the bases loaded for Logan Forsythe.
Hey, remember we saw it last night. Dale Swain sticking with Edwin Jackson, right? That's the Padres were chipping away.
Go to the bullpen.
We talked about the Cubs bullpen, the highest ERA in the National League. He's sticking with his right-hander.
103rd pitch coming up. Forsythe has grounded into a double play, struck out and flied to left.
Great numbers with the bases loaded.
.96 on that fastball. That's topping out for the night.
Reaching back for a little extra here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
1 run home. Venable, Amarista, Headley aboard. 2 out. Another fastball. Swain staying with the starters, Samardzija. He went around 1-2. There's the breaking ball, and Forsythe couldn't check.
Looked like either a cut fastball. Let's see out of the hand, a little slider, hanging slider, huh, Tony?
Slider. See a good chance he's going to get that split finger.
Struck him out. Now the Padres a golden opportunity, bases loaded, no one out, but we're able to bring only one home, and we go to the 9th inning. Cubs 3, Padres 2. Barney, he's knocked in 2 runs with a home run and a double, and he scored the 3rd run on Anthony Rizzo's single. Here's the double. That was the relay play where it appeared the Padres had a great chance to throw out the runner at the plate, but Logan Forsythe's throw all the way into the crowd. And then Barney goes to 3rd and would score on Rizzo's single. So Darwin Barney, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, is the Cardinals junior star of the game, as Dale Thayer comes in to work the top of the 9th inning, and Barney will lead it off. Padres tonight are 1 for 10 runners in scoring position, and that was the bunt sacrifice base hit by Amarista. Barney. And it looks as if Samardzija's night is through. A pinch hitter, Ryan Bogusevic, is in the on-deck circle. 1-1 now to Barney. Gritty pitching by Samardzija. They have the bases loaded, no one out, and allow only the 1 run on the sacrifice fly by Alonso.
After the walk to Headley, boy, he really boiled down and made some pitches.
Base hit to center field, and Barney's had quite a night. Single, double, home run. That certainly doesn't ring true to his batting average of .216. And hits for the Cubs on the night. 3 by Barney.
You know, I look at Darwin Barney, and he's got a slider speed bat, right? From the home run, breaking ball.
Yep.
Fastball, trying to take it the other way. He did that nicely.
Bogusevic was a starter last night for the Cubs. Played left field and doubled in 2 runs. 1 for 4 in the night. It's only his 2nd pinch hit performance, as Kevin Gregg, the veteran right-hander, getting loose in the bullpen. Samardzija goes 8 innings, allows 2 runs, both earned. Only 6 hits, walked 2, 1 intentional. 7 strikeouts, with the 7th being the biggest of all, striking out Forsythe with the bases loaded. Line to left, but it's carrying. Decker makes the play! Jeff Decker with a dazzling catch in left center. Well, he's made 2 outstanding defensive plays, that relay, and now this diving catch.
He's laying out parallel here because that ball almost was by him. And boy, he lays out and makes an outstanding play.
Timed it perfectly.
That may have saved another run if it gets through all the way to the wall. So 1 out as Bogusevic robbed of a hit. And here's Castro, a single hit by a pitch and grounded twice to short. Player pitched the 6th inning last night, part of the bullpen shutout effort of 8 1/3. He gave up a couple of hits, but got out of it. Another look at Decker's outstanding play. Bogusevic can't believe it. He thought he had at least a single, maybe a double or triple. Looking ahead, bottom of the 9th inning, the Padres have Huntley, Decker in the pitcher spot. There goes the runner. Out of play on Castro's swing.
I think that was hit and run.
Sure looked like it by the swing.
Barney didn't look in as the runner. I mean, I didn't see him look in. Pitch wasn't really a strike, but Castro doing what he has to do to protect the runner.
Takes a look at strike 3. No, that's strike 2. Castro 0-2.
He wanted it down and away. Nick Hundley tries to hold it on the inside corner, and he does a nice job of that. That's a strike.
Padre infield looking for 2. Wheels that one outside at 93. He has throughout the entire year, from his first appearance of the season, his fastball right at 93. He just put it in the book. As sure as Chico State is in Chico, California. Weak ground ball. Forsythe just does get Castro. Close play. No chance to get the lead runner. 2 away with Barney moving into scoring position.
Well, Castro, I think he barely got him. Forsythe had to get rid of that ball in a hurry.
Yeah, he got him. Nice throw. I've never understood why guys pull up after hitting the bag like that. I mean, run through the bag, keep going. It's a good way to pull a quad or a hammy or, you know,
turn an ankle.
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo, a walk and an RBI single in 3 at-bats. Barney out at second base, 2 outs. Marches night through, and here's that play again, and well, that is bang bang.
And Tony, you made the point the other day. Remember, he went to the top of the bag yesterday.
Yep.
More towards the front of the bag.
Front of the bag.
Time.
So the quicker you can get your foot on the bag, that's what the umpire. He's not looking to see if you hit the bag. He's listening for your foot to hit the bag, and if you hit the front of the bag, it's a different sound than the top of the bag.
He was out.
He was out.
That's a strike as he goes to the slider. No, just not. That was just a fastball with a lot of action moving in on Rizzo. $30,870 here on this Saturday night. Fly ball to left. Decker right there for the out. Well, thanks to Jeff Decker's diving play in left center field, the Cubs scoreless in the ninth.
They break down the ball game and delve into the stats. They're going to give it to you on Padres Live after the game right here on Fox Sports San Diego, brought to you by Cox.
As we go to the bottom of the ninth inning, Nick Hundley scheduled to lead off. Chris Denorfia out of the dugout swinging a bat. Apparently he'll hit for Decker. And Guzman is in the hole. As Kevin Gregg comes in, the veteran has saved 25 Cubs wins.
Gregg has 4 blown saves, and Brian Bogusevic will go out to left field.
So Hundley grounded to short, struck out twice, facing Jeff Samardzija. Ball 1.
They got the rally caps going, hoping for some base runners. Looping a blast.
2-0, maybe even a walk and a blast.
Yep. Get a base runner on, all kind of possibilities. You can do that.
Kevin Gregg, fastball, slider, split, cut, fastball.
That was right down the middle.
Not overpowering, guys. 89 to 93 on the fastball for Gregg. He's going to rely on location.
2-1 to Hundley. And 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gregg started the season a perfect 12 for 12 in save situations. Dino and the on deck circle. Didn't suffer a blown save until the end of June.
You know, Gregg did a little wild too, guys. A little high on the free pass this year. 26 in 49 innings.
Fouled away by Hundley.
Once again, one of those Cubs is paying dividends. Kevin Gregg signed as a minor league free agent back on April 15th after being released by the Dodgers.
Another foul. He's converted 169 saves in his career, pitching for the Angels, Marlins, Cubs, Blue Jays, and Orioles. 25 this year. And that matches Houston Street's 25 for the Padres. Ground ball. Barney there at second base. One away. Batting for Decker, Chris Denorfia. Jesus Guzman out of the dugout. Apparently he'll hit next after Denorfia. 2 for 16 as a pinch hitter. One of those a big home run. Batting .271 on the season. All of his 9 home runs against left-handed pitching.
Real breaking ball we've seen.
Guzman apparently will be next. Chop to the left side. Castro has trouble with the ball, and he still gets him. He juggled it out of the glove, but with that bully whip right arm, he's able to get it over there in time.
Had to come in on this ball and double clutched on it.
Almost looked like that ball came out of his hand. Watch.
Yeah. He had to almost recatch it.
Yeah.
So 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's up to Jesus Guzman. Ball misses. Guzman 9 for 41 as a pinch hitter. 3 home runs pinch hitting. And if he can keep it going, Will Venable will be next. 2-0.
Real chance.
I mean, isn't that the script?
Hey,
Guzman's going to get on with a walk or a base hit, and then Venable's going to end it.
Just get on base. Sure like to see it.
Yeah.
3 for 4 with a home run tonight. That one hits the corner. 2-1.
Little two-seam action on the outside corner, perfectly placed by Greg. Watch the glove of Navarro. Hardly even moves.
Guzman was ready to commit to hitting the ball to right center there 2-0.
And strike 2. Right at the knees.
Paint on the outside. Two-seam action comes back.
Strike 3 call. Guzman didn't get a swing. And Greg saves it for the Cubs. Barney, the hitting star. And the Cubs have beaten the Padres in the middle game of this 3-game series, 3-2. Let's go to Mike Pomerantz.
Guys, when we see the postgame show, we'll talk about Darwin Barney and what he was able to do so well this evening. We'll hear about Jeff Smarja and what made him so challenging for the Padres tonight. Plus, you got to talk Will Venable, and you'll hear from Buddy Black.